G'day, welcome back to another episode. We're discussing a hot topic again today, mostly is offshore investing. But yeah, a lot of clients ask us, should I take money offshore? And if so, how much should I take offshore of my portfolio? If you can cram it into 4 minutes, what would you say?
So should I have offshore exposure?
Number one.
Definitely. Because South Africa, only less than 1% of global GDP, less than 2% is of the global markets is the JSE. So you definitely need offshore exposure just because it's so much bigger market and more opportunities. So the chance for outperforming is a lot better offshore because there's so much more opportunity. So that's the first reason. And second reason is you diversify actually your portfolio. In the long run, you actually get better returns with some offshore exposure because it's not related companies. Because if something in South Africa goes up, something in the year, or if the rand strengthens, then it's negative for offshore. But then when the rand weakens, you get more offshore exposure. So in the long run, because it's so different, you get actually better diversification.
So it's good for diversification, and there's a bigger world out there than just the South African economy. This has nothing to do with politics. This is purely economic. We are a small player, and you want to diversify.
And then the big question is, everyone asks, how much should I take offshore? Each individual is different. There's no optimal weighting. We need to take 34.4% offshore, and that each client is different. Some clients, if they're retiring now and they only have like 2 million rand and need to live from that in South Africa for the rest of life, most of their portfolio is going to be here. But if you've got a lot of money and you want to better growth, or you've got children living and working overseas, then you've got to have a lot more offshore. So it depends a lot on that. And then there's what everyone asks, how do I get offshore exposure?
Yes, exactly.
So there's two ways basically. You can first of all do it through invest in South Africa in offshore funds. And we call it feeder funds because it feeds into offshore funds. So your money never leaves
money
the
stays
country.
in South Africa, but you're invested in offshore companies.
Yes.
So you get that diversification.
You get an offshore. So when the rand weakens, that will strengthen. The price will go up of that comes just of the rand. And most people don't know they are actually invested already in those type of funds. Your pension funds and retirement annuities can invest up to 30% into that funds, and most portfolios do that because of the diversification you get. So most are fully invested offshore. So you actually are invested offshore already. A lot of people don't know that. And on the funds like tax-free savings and living annuities and in a trust, we can give you 100% almost offshore exposure, but you don't take the money offshore. And then the second thing is, like, say, okay, I've got money that I want to take offshore for political risk, to get away from political risk, and that's our topic now. You can take the funds directly offshore.
Then physically your money will be in another country. If South Africa happens, then the money is offshore.
And there's a lot of reason, not just for political risk. Like I said, you have children overseas, and there's tax benefits and all that kind of stuff. So like I said, on each individual basis we can look at it. But then you can take it directly offshore. And that's just a process we can take and help you with. And there's a lot of people do it on their own, but there's a lot of tax benefits and regulations and stuff you need to look at. So that's definitely when you come to that step, you really need to get advice.
Yeah, it can get quite complicated just in terms of your beneficiaries as well. And there's a whole lot of tax differences when it comes to that. But then I would recommend get a professional to assist you on that.
So like I said, so just to summarize, we can just do invest in South African offshore funds, or you can take money directly offshore, and you've got a limit up to 11 million rand per year that you can take offshore. So there's quite a lot of people say, I need to move money now, but at this stage you can take a lot of money out quite quickly.
Thank you, and there you have it. So I think a good place to start is to ask your advisor, or just to look at the fund fact sheet to see how much offshore exposure you already have, because you already have offshore exposure, and then to sit with a professional and to plan the way forward in terms of what will suit your specific needs. Thank you, PJ.